This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Hey, it's Emily and Stu, and just know that I am the positive one. I am the shiny, happy one in this business broadcasting relationship. Before we came on, I was saying, no, it's good that things keep fucking up. It's good that there are terrible things happening. As you will see, I think, as we go through our time in history, things need to get really bad, like bad more than you could even imagine, so that the really dumb people can understand in their brain how bad they are, and then they will vote accordingly. I think that is the middle of what we're into right now. That's my theory.
I like where you're going with this, and of course I love to see you being so incredibly positive.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Always look on the bright side. That's your motto.
Yeah.
I was hoping, and I know I'm so naive, but I really was hoping that the dumbest motherfucker on the planet and the president would be two different people.
You saw that meme too. Yeah, they're the same, and yeah, it's terrible.
It's a shame. It's a crying shame.
So every time something bad happens, I'm like, okay, good, keep it going. And it's really important too, I discovered, that he not die. Everybody wants him to die. Everybody's wishing death on him. If he dies now, then he's going to be the martyr, and the Republican, corrupt, horrible party is going to continue, and then we will not have good midterms. We need things to be bad, and we need to keep that fucker alive until the midterms, and then we will see change.
Well, they've just announced that they will be having ICE agents surrounding polling booths for the midterms. So that's exciting.
Perhaps to throw everything into chaos so that we can argue over the elections for months and months. At some point, we're going to need to have our own brand of ICE agents, maybe. I don't know. We're getting so far ahead of ourselves in the war that has begun. We'll see how it goes.
Indeed we shall.
Yeah. Groundhogs Day was this week, and it was a thing where there's this marmot that comes out of the bottom of the ground and it smells its own asshole, and then that means something about the weather. Is there anything dumber than Groundhogs Day? I can't think of really anything.
I can. I mean, I love the romance of a clairvoyant rodent. I think that it's
well, if you put it that way.
Cute. And I like having to explain to people weird traditions of my country. And so imagine this. That's one of the things that people are like, oh, what's interesting about the United States? I'm like, oh, okay, well, we have a rodent that lives underground and he can tell the future. He's clairvoyant, and he comes out. Sometimes he wears a hat, and if he sees his shadow, he tells us if there's going to be 6 weeks more of winter. Okay, cool. Yeah, sweet. We have meteorologists, but we have weather men and women, but, whatever. Clairvoyant rodent for the
You guys don't do that in Australia? I thought you would do that with like a great white shark or something. Oh, come over here.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. I also, interestingly, do you want to know what one of the most common questions I get asked from Americans about holidays in my country?
More than anything.
There are two.
Yeah.
One, how do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving? And what do you do on the 4th of July?
Oh, my God, if you think it through. They don't have those days.
Right, and these people are lovely. Yeah. And I have to respond in a way, like sometimes I just sort of blink a little bit, but then I have to be really nice about it because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
But then I'll just say, oh, we don't celebrate those in our country, in Australia. We just celebrate them here in the United States. And then they're like, why though? And some people will go, some people will twig at that point and go, oh, God, yeah, of course. Because, you're just making polite conversation and you just say things and you get into it and you're like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's silly. So a lot of people will be like, oh, but then there are people who will really dig in and be like, why though?
Like people that just won't think it through and they're not going to bother to think it through. And
yeah.
Groundhog Day versus the presidential pardoning of the turkey, which is dumber? Because, every year the president pardons the turkeys and they don't get slaughtered for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but when do they get slaughtered? I think that it's a farce, and both of these things are, But I think that the turkey one is worse because do we really believe that those turkeys are just living out their lives, just allowed to be turkeys?
Well, it's funny that you say that because this last one that Trump pardoned, I saw ICE come in and wrestle it to the ground and take the gun out of its back waistband and then shoot it in the head. So that's what happened.
Well, I mean,
behind the scenes.
Yeah, the turkey shouldn't have brought a gun to a protest.
Yeah. You don't do that, Second Amendment, if you're a turkey.
No, exactly.
Sons of bitchin' turkeys.
Sons of bitches. I'm glad to see that the murder of Alex Preddy has been ruled a homicide. That's one win.
Yeah. Renee Good's brother has been testifying, and at least people are pointing out that, hey, this is a horrible dictatorship that we're under where our people are getting slaughtered. So at least it's being pointed out. And keep letting things get worse. That's what we want.
Keep letting it get worse.
Yeah.
But how disrespectful is it?
Yeah.
No Republicans showed up to listen to Renee Good's brother.
That's good, though. People are going to recognize that, and they're going to vote accordingly. Even the stupid people are going to recognize that.
Yep. And we're already seeing the tides turn. I think Texas is really the canary in the coal mine there. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to see seats that have been dyed-in-the-wool Republican switch to Democrat.
Yeah, that
I
happened.
think people are switching teams. The writing is on the wall. Good things are happening.
And that's being recognized, and they are so afraid. And that guy that won in Texas didn't just win, he won by a lot. So if you're weighing things, that happens in Texas, people are fucking pissed, and that's good. Let's keep them pissed. So there we are.
Yep, exactly.
The last thing about Groundhogs Day is that they do it at Gobbler's Knob.
Yes, they do.
It's not a city. That's a porn movie. Gobbler's Knob with hot action from Luna Lovegood.
His name's Punxsutawney Phil, isn't it?
Well, there you go. You know what they say about a guy's Punxsutawney. That guy's got the best Punxsutawney in the business.
It sounds like some kind of stew dish, like almost like jambalaya.
You said stew dish, and I went, what?
No, just like jambalaya or paella or like some sort of rice stew dish. Right. Punxsutawney. If you were going to make your best Punxsutawney, what would be in it?
Well, I made a rice dish last night, and it's going to be boring to many people, but I make a really good air-baked tofu. You put breading on it and lots of spices, and you air-bake it. And then in a pan, I had spinach, mushrooms, and lots of spices, and brown rice. Yeah, good stuff. Really good. It sounds like a gross vegetarian dish, but it's really good.
It sounds actually quite delicious. One of my favorite ever food dishes. And I don't know, do you like spicy food?
No, I'm a puss.
Okay, well, you will not enjoy this then. It's a Szechuan tofu dish. And it is like firm tofu in lots of chili and chili oil, and it's out of this world good.
Tofu is great. It just depends on how you cook it. It's what you cook it in and how you spice it. It's basically like chicken when you get it done. And I ordered Szechuan by mistake one time, and it did not go well for me or my asshole.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I've never met that guy, but I mean, I'd love to meet him one day.
Mr. Szechuan?
Mr. Szechuan. It's really interesting. If you're not familiar with Szechuan cooking, it's a Chinese style of chili, and they use dried chili. And so the finish of it is less aggressive than a fresh chili. The half-life on the dried chili is less.
And it has notes of fruit and oak as well.
Notes of fruit and oak.
Yeah.
It's got legs. What?
I never follow that when they talk about booze or after flavors or nuances or any of that.
Tannins.
I'm not smart enough. Yeah, tannins. That Szechuan's got good tannins. I just know if I like it or not. That's all. I'm a basic guy.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Sad news to report. This sucks. Catherine O'Hara died. And I actually had in my show notes that I put in there, I was starting a thing for the show months ago, a list of people that cannot die. I said, when this person dies, it's going to really bum me out. And the only person on that list was Catherine O'Hara. I went back and looked at it, and it says, people that can't die, Catherine O'Hara. And I am just really bummed, like I was bummed when Prince and David Bowie died. And it comes out now, I guess, after the fact that she died early because she had a rare genetic thing where all of her organs were backwards. And it's a thing that happens sometimes. And there was no more talented person on this planet. I remember being a little kid watching SCTV, which is the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live, basically, except it was better and more consistently funny. And it was her and John Candy and Martin Short and Rick Moranis. Is it Moranis and or Moranis? It's like Uranus. Okay. And
I think even if it was Moranis, I think that just for appearance's sake, one might pronounce it.
I have him on my list, and in my head, I went, don't say Moranis, don't say Moranis, and then I said Moranis. Eugene Levy, all of these great people.
Legends.
That had a sketch comedy show, and it was great and sometimes weird, and I watched it every week. And she did Home Alone and Beetlejuice and all the great Christopher Guest movies, Waiting for Guffman, Mighty Wind, Best in Show. Just always great. Nobody ever had a horrible thing to say about her. And then recently she was in Schitt's Creek. Did you watch the Schitt's Creek at all?
Did I ever?
Oh my God,
it's
so
one
good.
of my all-time favorites, and I would watch it repeatedly. It is really fantastic.
All of the characters in that show are fantastic, and Moira Rose is one of my favorite characters ever. They're all uptight, rich assholes, but they're still redeeming, and they're just hilarious. The daughter especially, and Moira especially, and it's just so great and so wonderful and so funny. And I will play for you one of my favorite clips from Schitt's Creek. This is where Moira and her son, who always wear very loud clothing, are super rich people, and yes, you're right, there's a ladle involved. They're going to make cheese enchiladas, and they don't know how to do it. And you can go and find this on YouTube after the fact. The visual is great too, but the audio holds up. This is them making cheese enchiladas.
A quarter cup at a time. A thin stream. It's supposed to be a thin stream. Blend it really well, or you'll burn. David, that's not right.
Okay, well, that's because I'm ladling and stirring at the same time and you're just standing there.
Now's not the time to lose focus, darling.
This was your idea. You're the one who allegedly made the enchiladas.
Yes, so try to keep up. Okay, next. Now's the time to sprinkle in the chili pepper flakes.
We've already done that.
What number are we on?
Oh my God, is this not your mother's recipe?
Yes, and now I'm passing it on to you. So try to keep up. Next step is to fold in the cheese.
What does that mean?
He just looks at her.
What does
What?
fold in the cheese mean?
He folds it in.
Fold in the cheese.
I understand that, but how do you fold it? Do you fold it in half like a piece of paper and drop it in the pot, or what do you do?
David, I cannot show you everything.
Okay, well, can you show me one thing?
Here's what you do. You just fold it in.
Okay, I don't know how to fold broken cheese like that.
And I don't know how to be any clearer. You take that thing that's in your hand, and you...
If you say fold in one more time.
It says fold it in!
This is your recipe. You fold in the cheese then.
Don't you dare.
You fold it in.
David!
David!
Oh, good. Now I see bubbles. David! What does burning smell like?
It's always been one of my favorite bits, and it's just great.
So great and such amazing characters. If anybody hasn't watched that show, that's your number one priority. That's your homework, and it will help just soothe and cleanse your eyeballs. If you've been reading the Epstein files, it'll be like some sort of chemistry lab eye wash for your soul and your eyes. So get after it.
That's a very good way to look at it. That's a really nice diversion, and I might go back and watch them again. I would have to say, though, and you can disagree with me, the last season or two, I didn't like, and I felt like they focused on David's relationship with his boyfriend at the apothecary store too much. I just didn't care about any of that, and I was like, let's have more of the other funny people.
I really liked it. I thought it was really nice and really important. And I loved
that felt like grandstanding to me, though. Like,
did.
look at how important this is, and I felt like that's why they focused on it too much.
Well, I liked the complexity of like Stevie's role in that relationship as well. I really like Stevie as a character, and so and the dynamic between her and David, I liked that. So I didn't mind them having more time. And I liked it. I found it really engaging, and I kept looking forward to it. Like, I wanted to see what happened next. And I think the juxtaposition of their two personalities being in a partnership was actually hilarious to me, because it felt like such an odd fit. It was delightfully funny, just how neurotic David is. I liked it.
And apart from those seasons, which I can still watch, they're still good. They're just not as good to me. The first 3 or 4 years or whatever that was some of the best comedy writing ever. And just the little nuances of the characters, and the daughter is such an asshole. Do you remember when she auditioned for that play and just did this sleazy, sexy song and was like whoring it up all over the place?
A little bit Alexis. Do I ever?
A little bit Alexis. Oh my God. So good.
Yeah, totally.
I enjoyed that on a couple levels.
Yeah. So funny. I remember one interview with her, and I think she was sort of stopped on a runway or something, and she was a little bit older, so Catherine O'Hara. And the journalist asked her, "What role would you like to be remembered for?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "You've played so many iconic characters and all of those sorts of things." And she said, "A mother to my children."
What a great response.
And I thought that was really wonderful. And in this moment, I think we should remember that, right? Most of us don't really know her. We know her characters. We appreciated her art and all of those types of things. And I just think, oh my gosh, if she is so beloved by us, how much must her family be feeling her absence? And I really feel for those people, because she just really was a great woman, and no one will feel her absence more than they will. It makes me sad.
Yeah, everybody comes out and says good things about somebody when they die, but when it's all these people that have done films with her and just people in her life coming out the way that they have, it seems more sincere and very sad.
Yeah,
she was
so great. And it's awesome because a lot of her art endures. We can go back and we can revisit a lot of that stuff, and I think we're very lucky to be able to do that. And I'm going to do that. Check it out.
Schitt's Creek, check it out. There you go. We were talking about it earlier. I have the latest, I guess, pop culture Trump news. It's all this stuff that has been happening. We're not a news organization, but stuff you can't help but talk about. Latest rumor is that he may be shitting his pants now. There was a press conference for the Great American Recovery Initiative, and they are doing this, and something changes midway through this press conference. And all of a sudden, Don decided not to take questions and clear the room right away. And the aides were just frantic. They had this frantic look on their face like, get out. And it was very weird. And there was a horrible look on RFK's face, who was standing behind him. And there was some other woman that at one point put her hand up to her nose. This is from, I'll find out who it's from. Oh, from Decoding Fox News.
In a recent Oval Office press conference, people have speculated if President Trump lost control of his bowels. I'm not sure. I don't know. I will just offer this video for anyone who wants to check it out. I've isolated sections that sound suspicious and cranked up the volume, and I've done nothing else besides that.
Anybody else have anything to say? I can say that I am extremely late, but that's okay. Don't worry about me, okay? Don't worry, okay? Don't worry, okay? Don't worry about me. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot.
Then they're just rushing everybody out after there's a
Thank you all
in the
very
background.
much. I appreciate it.
They're just like, holy shit, get
Thank
the
you.
fuck out. Get out, get out. Get out, get out, get out. Holy shit, get out. Holy shit, really? So I assume you saw this. What do you think? You think he shit himself?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not the only time. I could be convinced that sound was actually somebody clearing their throat whilst trying not to vomit. I don't necessarily think that he's had some kind of infant punami explosion that was audible.
Because there are so many reasons to vomit around him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just in his presence.
Just in his presence. But I think that he's been shitting himself for a long time.
Think he's got diapers and that kind of thing?
Definitely.
Could be.
Yeah.
We're speculating here, and it's this is a Prime News investigation. We're a news show.
Yeah.
I said earlier, we're not a news show. We are a news show, and we're just
We're
investigating.
not groundhogs.
So
I mean, we can't see the future, but we're trying to predict it.
Gobbler's knob or anything.
Yeah.
Don't have that going on. And people that are really light and fluffy are going to say, well, should you make fun of someone for this if they're that old and that feeble? And yes, you absolutely should. Someone that makes fun of and mocks and does impressions of mentally disabled people, you bet you should absolutely make fun of them and point out if they're shitting their own pants, because that is justice, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm making fun of him. I think we're just pointing to the facts. And I'll double down on it. I think he's too old to be the president. And it's not just him. I don't think that anybody who is that old should be allowed to have their finger on the big red button.
Agreed.
Shouldn't be allowed. I know I rant about this all the time, but not allowed. Banned.
You know, a lot of people are saying, I just like to say that because it's like Trump, a lot of people are saying that Buttigieg would be the next best president. And I like that guy and think he's so smart. And I've never seen him fumble around and not have an answer or have a bunch of bullshit on him.
I do like him. I don't think he'll get voted in because...
Can't have a gay guy yet. If we can't have a woman, we can't have a gay guy.
Too homophobic.
Yeah.
The United States is too homophobic. You know who I like? James Tallarico. I don't think he's even running, but he's a guy out of Texas.
I know the name, but I don't know him. Is he connected to anybody famous? Because there was a video game designer named Tommy Tallarico who was also related to the lead singer of Aerosmith, who his secret real last name is Tallarico. Stephen Tallarico.
Oh, Stephen Tallarico. I could not say. I am not aware. And then who's the astronaut? Senator Mark, what's he chops?
I love the what's he chops. Mark Cuban. Mark Almond.
No, I believe that Cuban is one of the sharks.
Naming Marks.
He's one of the sharks.
Yeah, well, that's the only Mark I know.
Oh my gosh.
See, the bit there would have been great if I would have thought of famous Marks.
Richard Marx. No.
Richard Marx. Yeah. He's a smart guy that doesn't like the show.
It's Senator Mark Kelly. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. I know him. Yeah, he would be good.
Yeah, and husband of Gabby Giffords, by the way. Remember? Lady who was shot in the head.
Yeah, I've seen him testifying and doing
things.
Yeah,
right. See, retired astronaut, naval officer, one of the guys who the regime is trying to...
persecute.
Yeah, I think that he's going to make a run for president. I do like him, but not as much as I like James Tallarico. Who's your guy? Who's a California bloke? Newsom.
Oh, Newsom?
Yeah, I think he's going to make a run for it. He's got postcard face. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he belongs on a presidential poster.
It's just very politician.
Right.
And he's touting good things. I just don't like the politician thing about him. So, I don't know.
I mean, who knows where it's going to lie. We could end up voting in a fucking spaniel at this rate. Who knows?
Be better than what we have, I think. Spaniel wouldn't shit itself.
At least if it was house trained, it'd at least go outside for the most part.
House trained spaniel. Let's go with that. And Richard Marx, he is a very good opinionated guy, lands on the right side of things, very open and strong in social media for what is right and posts about it. And he and I went back and forth for a while, a little bit. We followed each other and talked. And then on the show one time, I called him Dick Marx, and I never heard from him again. I think he was upset by that.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same Richard Marx. The musician, hits include Right Here Waiting for You, Now and Forever, and Endless Summer Nights.
The guy that you kind of think about as a modern day Barry Manilow, that guy. He's got great political opinions. He's very smart and says great things, but I pissed him off by calling him Dick Marx one time, and I didn't even mean anything by it. I was just being me.
That feels so accurate.
Yeah,
I know.
It's true. That's true. That's a good way to put it.
And
it's
so
very
innocent
accurate
as well. And just, innocent and accidentally blowing things up.
I was going to say I don't have a mean bone in my body, but I really kind of do. I have to be pushed.
Not true.
I have to be pushed into the meanness. But
I mean, I don't even think you need to be pushed that hard. I mean, you could get a stiff breeze at the back and be coaxed towards a meltdown. But I think only if your values are challenged. I don't think you're out there just being mean for the fun of it.
I treat people the way I am treated. I really feel like I do. And if somebody is even remotely rational and smart and even makes a mistake and says, oh, sorry about that, I'm fine. But dumb and arrogant and mean is a bad way to come at me because I'm dumb and I'll come right back at you.
I'm going to create one of those AI duplicates of you, and then I'm going to pit you against you. And I wonder if we could be able to travel back through time with just the death spiral that will create.
That would be a good bit. We could work that out.
Well, could you? It's because they say things. They say, I hate saying that, but I can't remember. But there's people say, and psychologists say, that a lot of things that we don't like in other people are actually things that we don't like in ourselves. And that's why, one, opposites attract, and two, people who are very similar sometimes don't make good partners because they're just butt heads all the time.
Right. They say that when you're doing that, it's a form of projection and
Yeah.
The Melania movie did open. It made $7 million at the box office, which sounds like a lot, but that's number 3 on a week where there were not a lot of huge movies. They're spinning it by saying it's the biggest debut for a documentary in 10 years. And I guess it makes sense because it seems to me that, okay, this dumb thing came out and all the leftover red hat heads went out and saw it, and that is what happened, and now it's just going to die. And they spent $75 million, $40 million to make it. A large chunk of that was paying her off, and then $35 million in marketing. They made 7. It's going to completely die after this week. So, okay, here we are. You've probably lost at least $40 or $50 million when all is said and done, Jeff Bezos. I hope it was worth it to you, and it probably is. That guy's got tons of money, and he's indirectly paying off the government so that he can get anything he wants. That's the way I view the whole thing.
Yeah, it's absolute garbage, and it's definitely going to be at a loss. And by the way, if you spend any time on Reddit at all, people will tell you that in certain markets, people were getting paid to go and watch the movie. PR teams were buying out theaters and then going around and finding people to give the tickets to and paying them if they went and sat through the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw that too, and then I didn't believe it. And then I saw where somebody actually went to one of the theaters where it was sold and there was nobody in there.
Nobody in it.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Gee, who would expect they'd do that? Kind of everybody. And I saw her on shows promoting it, and people say, well, you shouldn't make fun of her for the way she talks. And I, again, feel like you should, because I'm a terrible person. And also because the right firmly believes that if you come to this country, you should learn how to speak English. And she's been here 30 years. And after 30 years, she should be able to get through a sentence without sounding genuinely dumb. And she hasn't done that. And she hasn't done that because she never has to do anything. She's rich and coddled and taken care of, and she has no need to learn anything to help her advance through her own life.
I mean, I'm not going to tease her about her accent because I have one, so I can't.
But
really
who do you
tease her
think?
about that.
I'll ask you this: you or her? Who sounds smarter?
Well, I think it depends through which lens. I'm sure if she was speaking Russian,
You can just say you.
she would sound, I think if speaking English, I'm very fortunate. It's my mother tongue. And so I have an advantage over her in that respect. But if we were going to go out and speak Russian, she'd definitely have it all over me because I don't speak any Russian.
You don't speak it, so you don't know if she's also sounding like an asshole speaking Russian.
This is true. This is true. One thing that has come out of the Epstein files apparently was that Melania worked for Epstein and was the one responsible for the introduction to her now husband.
Yeah, I am not saying it, but it's just a weird coincidence. And it's almost like she was a high-paid call girl and stepped into something big and got to be a steady. That's what it seems like. I don't know that for sure.
It definitely looks like that. It walks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
Except instead of duck, I think you mean fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I think that's
Walks like a fuck,
definitely
walks like a fuck.
happened.
Yeah.
But yes.
Also, they are now starting to arrest journalists. Don Lemon and 3 other reporters were arrested covering a protest at a church because they went inside. And this is, I think, going to go nowhere because even if you say they were trespassing, that's a bullshit charge because for somebody to be trespassing, you have to ask them to leave. And they weren't asked to leave and then stayed. And it's just a bullshit thing. Trump has a vendetta against him, and they were looking for something forever. And he explains it pretty well. He was on Kimmel the other night if you want to go watch that. But yeah, they've now started going after journalists, which is to be expected. And I think we need to support them. And I think we especially need to support the other people that were arrested that aren't as famous as him and don't have the money to back up the legal fees. So
yeah, absolutely. It's outrageous that journalists are being arrested. Also, journalists have been getting attacked. They are openly identifying themselves as press, and they are still getting tear gassed, capsicum sprayed in the face or pepper sprayed in the face, rubber bullets shot at them. They want you to look away. They want you to stop asking questions, and they are trying to punish people and scare people away from standing up and asking questions and shining a light on all these filthy little cockroaches.
This is a time in history where you have to step up and be courageous and do that in whatever way you can, even if it's just online. That's kind of weak in my opinion. Do other things, but just never be silent. He being Don, also went after Trevor Noah for a joke at the Grammys.
Yep.
Now he's saying he's going to sue him. And again, go ahead, try to sue him because defamation is like the hardest thing to prove in a court. There's like 5 elements of defamation that you have to have. And if you really stretched it, you could maybe say that Trevor Noah had 2 or 3. The others just do not apply. So Donald Trump, go fuck yourself. That's going nowhere. Again, it's just a spectacle to make people afraid. And I'm tired of it.
The other thing, too, is one of the best defenses against a case of defamation is truth. Truth is a defense. If there are records, flight manifests that show that Donald Trump was on one of Epstein's planes that went to one of the islands, bearing in mind that there was no runway on whatever that little island was, that they would have to fly into a different island and then get a helicopter across. If there is evidence of that, then he doesn't have a leg to stand on because all he said was that they went to Epstein's island.
Even the way the joke was worded, I don't have the audio, but if you go back and watch it, there are points to be made that, no, he said it this way, so that really doesn't apply, and that couldn't have happened, and eat a dick, you're not getting any lawsuit money. And, oh, yeah, why don't you just spend your time trying to sue the very country that you are president over while we're talking about that? That's his other thing. He's suing his own country for billions of dollars. But
the other thing, too, I loved how Trevor Noah called out Nicki Minaj for not being at the Grammys, but still being at the White House with President Trump. The thing that I feel is just this perfect karma is that she paid money for one of those Trump gold cards to become a citizen, but she isn't actually a citizen. She is a permanent resident of the United States, but I
think he gave it to her. I don't think that she paid it last I heard.
So I will stand corrected if that is the case. Yeah. But important to know is that it's just a memento. She's not a citizen of the United States. She can't even fucking vote. And she's up there literally holding hands with the devil.
And the motivation behind that, people are theorizing, is that she has a brother, I think it is. Somebody directly related to her was arrested and put in jail for something sexual, kind of sexual assault, I believe. We can double check those facts. And she's doing that to try to get him pardoned. And she's playing nice because that's the end game, is she wants to get her P. Diddy relative out of jail is what it looks like. So fuck them both. Fuck them all.
Can we talk about the Epstein files now, or is that like later?
Sure. Wherever we go. This is the Trump culture moment.
Okay. So in states like Georgia, Alabama, these are just ones near me, like in the South, and actually in most states in this country. If you as a man are accused of rape, you can still be convicted by a jury without any physical evidence, with only the victim's testimony in a he said, she said, or they said situation, and you can still be convicted by a jury, rightly or wrongly, and put in prison for up to 99 years without much of a burden of proof, okay? You can look it up, especially in states like Alabama. Here we have literally hundreds of victims. We have sworn testimony from scores of individuals. We have people caught dead to rights. And yet we are told by Kash Patel that there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked children. If that's true, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison and why was Jeffrey Epstein in prison? We are told that there is no new evidence by Pam Bondi or nothing that we can convict upon, but we have charged people and sent people to prison with a much lower burden of proof. And it happens every single day to regular people. You get people locked up being wrongly accused by a police officer, but they won't even investigate the people. They won't even investigate the people in this. How is that right? And we're being collectively gaslit by the government. Our president literally said it's time for us to move on. It's time to stop talking about it.
Move on from this thing where I allegedly fucked a bunch of little girls in the most hideous, gross manners.
Yeah.
It's just the worst. And it points out, you're right, it points out everything that is wrong in our society where the privileged are very privileged and the common man just gets a boot in the ass.
And even him aside, let's imagine for a moment that the president wasn't named in the Epstein files, okay? Imagine a world. Even if he did then say we need to stop talking about it, it would still be absolutely horrendous because what it is evidence of is a multinational, deeply embedded child sex trafficking ring for the global elites. And they know who the people are. They have successfully convicted one woman of it, but they know of at least 10 to 25 other people that they had enough evidence for, but for some reason, they didn't go after them. How is that possible?
Well, Emily, they got the main guy. They got the main guy who just coincidentally died in jail. He freaked out and hung himself. But, that way, all these other details couldn't come out. We can't investigate what's going on except, we have all these other files that kind of show what's been going on, but we can't look really deeply into those. And then you can question Kash Patel, the fucking deer in the headlights, and ask him to give a number to how many times Trump's name is in those files. And he'll say, you can't assign a number. And they'll say, well, if you can't assign a number, then what do you think? 1,000? And he said, no, it's not even 1,000. And no, it's about 4,000 in the latest bunch that came out.
And I think the total number's 38,000.
Yeah. So even if you take all of that out of that, you're right. There's a huge cover up in this for the rich if Trump's not involved. And Trump surely is involved in one way or another. And even if you take away the Epstein files, there's 18 other fucking reasons this asshole ought to be in jail rather than running our country. Take your pick. Make one stick.
100%. 100%. Two things on this too, which really sort of get my knickers in a knot. One, why the fuck do we need a dead man's emails over the sworn testimony of hundreds of victims? So we don't believe victims. We need to read and rummage through the panty drawer of a dead man.
Well, all those victims need to be investigated, Emily. They could be the terrible people.
Right. And I think that's just an analogy for how fucked this country is. And two, in all honesty, have we spent enough time talking about how Kash Patel looks like a rancid sock puppet of a rat? He looks like a Muppet that's been stored incorrectly.
That big, dumb look is always hilarious.
He looks, not okay.
He looks like the type of person that goes through life and as they go through life always has this running in their head. That is how he looks always.
So true. Absolutely true. I saw photos of him when he first took the job, though, and for a second there, I kind of felt sorry for him because he looks like he has trauma. So when he took office and the photos of him, he was smiling, had a little bit of a squint in his eye. Now he has the look of a prisoner of war. You know, those big eyes that are like saucers?
Yeah.
He looks disturbed. And I imagine it's because he has unfettered access to the Epstein files, which, if you listen to the things that they're saying things like, we have redacted the photos of the children who've been murdered. And I think that everyone's like stepping over that, like some sort of insane kitty fiddling sex ring wasn't bad enough, but they were killing children as well. And just the PR spin that they're putting on it, they can say, oh, well, we told you about that. But it's just like, oh, don't look out the left-hand window. We're passing past this. Everybody look out the right-hand side of the bus as we pass this horrible car accident. Like, it's insane.
Don't look at the wizard behind the curtain. There's all this other stuff to look at. That's our constant state of being in this country, is that. Don't look at this. The wizard is going to give you something else to look at. And even if in this you said, well, we need to redact these names and get rid of this, and we're going to have to do this before we can release any, and we're just not going to release some. The order was that these fucking things get released without redaction, and all of them get released, and that was the order, and they're not doing that. So why there isn't a big lawsuit over this already is beyond me, because it was very blatant as to what was supposed to happen, and it's not happening. I'm sure that takes some kind of legal bullshit, months and months of research and maneuvering to do, but still, what the fuck?
What the fuck? And they actually failed in their duty of care to suppress and redact the identities of victims. You had fucking one job, Puppet Patrol. You needed to redact pictures and names of the victims. And
that was outraging.
They didn't do that. Oh, but they have censored photos of, it was purposeful. They have censored photos of the president. They have censored the names of co-conspirators. Don't protect these chumps. And then how do they decide who gets thrown under the bus and who doesn't? Like Bill Gates, fucking Peter Attia, all of these cronies, Mendelsohn, like all of these people that are coming out, they're fucked. And I'm okay with it. They should all be locked up.
Anybody involved should be fucked, including our president, because there's so many other things we could fuck him on, and he is the ultimate that just needs to be fucked. He's the worst.
Exactly. If anybody you know looks through the list of the people who are involved in this and has any answer other than lock them all up, if they have certain names on that list that they're like, that they can sort of excuse it away, they are pedophile sympathizers.
I am ultra left. I don't know if that comes across, but if Bill Clinton was involved,
fuck him.
Fuck that guy too.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
See ya.
See ya. Exactly.
Sorry you're a creepy fucking weirdo perv, but you've got to go to jail now.
Yeah, do the time, do the crime. The thing that is just also so staggering for us, and sorry, I promise I'll get off my soapbox shortly, is that within 72 hours of this latest tranche being released, foreign governments have initiated investigations into their citizens who've been named, and also into a bunch of other companies and stuff that are associated with this. They are taking action. They are fucking horrified about this, and they are taking action. Meanwhile, over here, we are not doing anything, and other countries are literally referring to us as the country that is run by pedophiles.
I think if we had any other administration, it would still be getting covered up to a degree,
I agree.
But not to this degree. Stuff would be coming out, and people would be going to jail, and shit would be happening. And everybody knows what's going on. That's the frustrating thing.
Yep.
Everybody involved on both sides knows exactly what they're doing, yet it still keeps happening.
Yep. I agree. Anyone who's in those videos, kill them.
All right.
This is my pitch.
It's hard to argue that. I think, wow, that's extreme, but I don't have an argument for that.
This is my pitch.
Yeah.
Anybody who is on those videos sexually abusing children, they should be prosecuted and, as we've talked about before on the show, either throw them in the wood chipper, like just straight out the back door, straight into the wood chipper, or let the parents of those people beat them to death with socks full of coins. I don't give a shit. But
yeah, if there's no doubt that somebody is a child molester, I don't think I can argue that.
Yeah.
They're not worthy. And I also think it is a deterrent. I think if you're somebody that wants to molest kids and you see that people are getting put into wood chippers, maybe you'll think, you know what? I don't want that. So I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself and not completely damage somebody else's life.
yeah, absolutely. And it's not just, by the way, it's not just the kiddie fuckers. It's the whole network of enablers, like the royal family of the British Virgin Islands, who Jeffrey Epstein was paying for their children to go to school so that they would look the other way. He was even providing input on definitions and policies around sex offenders through undue influence on her. She knew what was happening. She knew that he was a convicted sex offender. She's still doing this. She enabled that stuff to happen. Peter Attia is a doctor. He's a mandatory reporter. He knew about the stuff that was happening and he enabled that stuff to happen. Now, those people maybe don't kill them, but they need to be prosecuted because stuff like this can only continue if people turn the other way or facilitate it. And there was so many people greasing the wheels on this, even more than we know. And all of those people need to be held to account. They may be able to justify it to themselves saying, I never hurt a child, I never did this, but you did. You did because of your actions that enabled that to happen.
There are so many layers to this terrible, corrupt, shitty onion that, yes, maybe kill the really bad ones and everybody else goes to jail for the rest of their life. There needs to be consequences and deterrents for this kind of shit. And just generally in life, we have none of that anymore, I think.
Exactly. I think it's abhorrent that someone like Ghislaine Maxwell is in a cushy minimum security prison with a fucking puppy, by the way. She got given a puppy.
Got to have puppy therapy.
Okay, puppy therapy, for whatever. So she's doing that. And you've got people who killed their abuser who are in maximum security prison for the rest of their lives for defending themselves. The world's gone mad.
We're very backwards in many ways.
We are so backward in so many ways. Anyway, that is my delightful rage circle, and that is the reason that I can't sleep this week.
The rage of Emily.
Welcome to the rage and obsession. Yeah.
No, you said good things there, and I appreciate that.
Bonkers.
Here's something we should talk about before next show, though we are running out of time, so I'll try to get through it quick. I think the Super Bowl is this weekend. Is that happening?
Da, 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 da. Yes, I'm excited for this.
I think the Seahawks are in it. I don't know the other team, and I don't care. I know that Bad Bunny is performing, and I think he's terrible. I think he sucks, but I'm happy he's performing just to piss people off and give other people with different tastes a bit of the spotlight. And Green Day is opening. Green Day rules.
I'm excited for Green Day.
We're going to have some American Idiot going there, I would think, at the opening. That'll be great.
That.
And Sinclair ABC stations that would be carrying the halftime show normally are going to be carrying Erica Kirk's dumb halftime show with Kid Rock.
Okay, I'm going to give you a lyric from a song, and I want you to tell me which of those three artists have it in their song. So Green Day, Bad Bunny, Kid Rock.
All right.
Young ladies, I like 'em underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory.
Well, it would have to be Kid Rock.
It 100% is fucking Kid Rock.
I wonder if he's been to the island.
I wouldn't.
Not saying he has. I just wonder. Maybe he was too young at the time. No, maybe not.
I don't think so.
He's a Dr. Phil looking creep. I don't know.
He is. I mean, he's lived hard. But he's disgusting. And for people who want to fact check me on that, the name of the song is Cool Daddy Cool by Kid Rock.
Yeah, he had a lot of lame stuff at the time that it came out. It was like, yeah. And then a week later, it was like, ew, what are you doing? This sucks. But so there's all that, and support Big Bunny even if you don't like the music.
Absolutely.
And it's just amazing to me that Sinclair ABC stations are not going to be carrying the real halftime show. If I was ABC, I would not give them any of the feed at all and say, fuck you, carry the whole thing or none of it.
Yep.
But probably they don't have those kind of balls.
I think that's a perfect solution to it. You shouldn't give them the rights at all.
I'm sure it's in the contract somewhere that you carry the whole thing, and they're going to have a battle over that. Those are the same people that wouldn't put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air when all of that was getting worked out. And then I started looking at, okay, wow, I just really don't care about any of this. And you looked like you had something important to say about the Sinclair people. No, you have something in your mouth. 2 words first sounds like one syllable.
No.
Going to the movies.
I'm pulling this face because there's some sort of insane piece of machinery operating.
I
was going on mute and just pulling this face going, oh, fucking, of course it's happening right now. Of course. Like any other time of the entire week. But now we're choosing to, I don't know, what is it? Launch a fucking rocket, apparently, like 2 doors down from me. I didn't even know I lived near NASA, but here we go.
And in any case, as we do this week's show, you're in all white and your headphones are on. And I swear to God, I'm doing the show with Princess Leia. It looks like I'm doing the show with Carrie Fisher from Star Wars. It's very strange with that outfit you have on. Anyway.
It's true, too, because it's got the little high neck sweater as well. Yeah. I do look a little bit like that. Good call.
Yeah. Do you come from the planet of Alderaan? I don't know.
But look at my Coke nail. My costume is complete. So I know that not everybody can see me, but I have long nails and I haven't gotten my nails done for a while, so they're getting a little bit witchy. And so
You've got a Band-Aid on that one finger.
I do. Actually, I have a sore there.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Anyway, I wanted to play this because I just don't care about sports. And I saw this online a while ago, and it's an investigation into the psychology of people that are really into sports and people like me that don't like sports. And it was like 15 minutes. I cut it down, but here, check this out.
While millions of people are screaming at their TVs, painting their faces, and emotionally destroyed because 11 strangers lost a game, there's a massive group of people who just don't care.
Me.
And according to neuroscience, their brains might actually be wired differently.
Maybe better. I don't know.
People who don't obsess over sports often have what psychologists call lower tribal instincts. Their identity isn't as strongly tied to being part of a group. They're more individualistic. They're more likely to say, I don't need to belong to something bigger to feel complete. A 2019 study found that people with low sports interest showed way less us versus them thinking. Translation, they don't automatically hate the other team just because they're not on their side.
We have to get to know someone and then we can hate them.
But wait, it gets weirder. Because what happens in the brain of a sports fanatic during a game is legitimately concerning. You know that feeling when you're about to open a present, that anticipation? That's dopamine firing in your brain. Sports fans get that same hit during games. Every play, every possession, constant microdoses of anticipation and reward. People who don't care about sports, their dopamine systems simply aren't triggered by vicarious competition. And this might be genetic. Research from the University of Chicago suggests that variations in dopamine receptor genes can predict how much someone cares about competitive spectator activities. Your complete indifference to whether the Lakers win or lose might literally be in your DNA. Here's something that sounds contradictory. Sports fans often score higher on certain empathy measures. They practice caring deeply about other people's struggles, even if those people are strangers wearing their team's jersey. So why don't non-sports people feel that same empathy for athletes? It's about empathy allocation. Everyone has a limited capacity for caring deeply about things.
you can only care about people so much, and then you run out of the bank. You run out of empathy in your bank. And I'm kind of trying to judge you. I'm always judging you. I just look and I stare and oh, she looks like Princess Leia. You, I don't think care about the Super Bowl. You always talk about, oh, I like the commercials. Yet I believe you are into other weird sports. So how do you fall into all this?
I enjoy watching sports. I like to observe sports. I like sports. I like going to live sports. I do enjoy sports, but I don't have my identity tied up in it. I can get competitive about it, but I'm not going to cry if my team doesn't win. Now, if a member of our family is an elite athlete, okay, and they play in one of these weird sports, so when I go and watch their team play, I'm very invested in them because I'm very invested in that person that I know and love winning. And so I'm more likely, because it's more personal.
Yeah, then it's
but
personalized.
The rest of the stuff, I'm like, not really. And I actually look at sports fanatics and religious devotion as being very similar in their relationship.
You're part of a special club and you feel camaraderie with all these other borderline kooks, kind of.
I think so. But I also, I kind of like the power of sports to create like an emotional connection that kind of binds a group of people or these communities together globally. There's something really nice, even though I don't get my self-worth out of watching another team play a sport, going somewhere and being surrounded by a whole bunch of other people that I probably don't even know, but we're all barracking or we're all going for and supporting the same team, like watching Australia in the World Cup or something like that. So I love that experience. It makes me very happy, but my life does not change because of it. And I might feel the triumph, but I'm not really going to get that depth of heartbreak.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
Well, I think you're the middle ground. You are into it, but you're not into it where it affects your life in a huge way like it does some people. I just feel like it doesn't entertain me and it doesn't affect my life at all. And even if I was into it, it would have zero impact on my life. So I don't care about it. And that's just the way I look at it. It's kind of the way they explained it in that video. I don't care.
And I think that makes sense. And I think you and I are similar in that regard, right? Except I do like sports, right? Me and a lot of different people, I think, are on the side of I support a team, but I don't necessarily deeply believe in that team. And my self-worth isn't tied up in it. I don't look at a team and believe that those athletes represent me.
And I think the other thing, too, is that I get nothing out of it. I understand that people that are into sports somehow get something out of it. But to me, sitting down and watching a game is way different than sitting down and listening to a great record that moves you emotionally and you admire the performance and just go, holy crap, that was great. And anger or tears or just energy that moves and changes you during that experience. I don't have any of that with sports.
And that makes sense. But you know that you can experience it in the same way that if you are to go to like a really amazing concert or listen to a really amazing record, but you're not going to be like, this represents me.
Yeah, I don't usually, there's a few exceptions. I don't like live albums because to me, I want to hear the studio version and you don't get what you get being at the show. To me, it's completely lost. You're losing the studio version that you like and you're not at the show, so you're losing it. In most cases, I would rather have one or the other. I'll go to the show or I will listen to the studio album.
That makes sense. And I think and I kind of agree with you on that. And the experience should be different. Like, I like it when you go and see a live show because again, they'll often play lots of different music from their back catalogs, and it's a different experience. Like, the songs, generally speaking, different. And that's why I like full-on live shows. Today, there's been this huge... okay, this is me doing the back in my day, but that's not my intention here. But a lot of bands now feel so much pressure for it to sound exactly the same live as what it does on the record. But I think that that's cheating the fans out of a unique experience. Like, think about, I love going back and I love listening to specific recordings of a specific show at a specific place. And Prince was great for this. And Nirvana was good for this, right? And it's a specific performance of a specific song that they did at this specific time, and it is unique to that. And so if you were there, you got to experience that, and you were part of something at that time. Whereas I don't think we have enough of that anymore.
See, I am kind of the other way in that I like the live performance to really sound like the studio recording, but then add something, do something a little bit different. And you mentioned it, Prince did that better than anybody. Prince sounded exactly like the record, but then there would be changes, and then this led to this, and it was a montage, and just your whole goddamn brain was blown watching Prince. That's what I like as the ultimate concert experience.
Yeah, I agree. Controversial topic. Not a fan of stadium shows.
No.
Said it.
Even if you're in the front, the sound sucks. So why? I don't go to stadium shows. Club shows are fine. Even small arenas are okay. And just generally nowadays, I don't want to go through the hassle unless it's somebody that I really need to see. And a lot of the bands are not as great as they used to be anymore. So I'm just not going to go through the hassle.
No, I would much prefer obscure artists, dingy dive bar basement shows. Let's get in at the sub 100 crowds and go and see these people before they get to produced to within an inch of their lives and corrupted and whatever. Will go and buy their merch while they're still selling their own merch over the table. And there's something about that I think is such a great experience. I think Taylor Swift, if anybody does a stadium show, it's her. But anyone else, I'm like, I would take that small $5 to $20 a ticket.
Yeah.
Wide-eyed.
There's something super cool about I Saw Them When. That is such a great time. And you look back on that and it's like, I saw them when. And even if they never become anything great, when you have that great moment with that person, you just think, oh, the rest of the world didn't get it. Fuck them. I saw that and it was fantastic. And you have those memories.
Yes, I agree. Because the other stuff is like, oh man, I've been to so many of these like big shows with big bands. Nothing sticks with me as much as like, I don't know, UMI at the Crocodile in Seattle, huge Australian band that I'm a big fan of. They did like a secret little side show that we found out via text message. And I was so close, and the stage is literally like not even 2 feet off the ground. And Timmy Rogers sweat on me. And that was amazing. Okay? Never going to forget that.
Wow, you were like Marsha Brady and Davy Jones. He sweat on me.
Totally like that. Yeah. I mean, for broadly considered to be a very unattractive man, but there's something amazing about Timmy Rogers. Look him up. I just think he's just an ultimate rock star.
I might look him up and then just start touching myself. I think that's what I'm going to do. Right after we finish this, I'm going to go do that.
You're better than the president.
That's true, because I'm looking at an adult, so. I've often decided that I am not great at getting out of shows. So I've decided that from now on, if I can remember every single time, we are going to have an alert and a sounder to end the show. And it's something that you brought back last week that I had neglected. So from now on, to get us out of every show,
shut the hell away from me.
That is how we end it.
It's been a pleasure. Shut the hell away from me.
All right. It is kind of symbolic. We're done. Shut
the hell away from me. I love this.
Everybody be well and fight and be vigilante.
Be vigilante.
Goodbye. I feel like I need one more.
Shut the hell away from me.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.